Scanning. Identity authorized. Welcome to the Secret Superhero Club Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Animation Station Podcast, your home for discussions and debates about all things animation. Each week, we'll rank, review, and revel in animated shows from yesterday and today, and from around the world. So grab your Acme slingshot, set your mobile suit to autopilot, and put on your mouse ears. The Animation Station Podcast begins now.
Hey, tell me about this t-shirt that's on your bed. That looks pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, I got that
Pretty
from
dope.
I did a Rooster Teeth Secret Santa,
Nice.
and I got a cool podcast and chill shirt.
It's on. It
So-
looks like the Netflix logo.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty
Very cool. I like it. It's a good
And
idea.
I'm like, oh, well, what do you know?
It's a good-
Convenient.
Good little slogan. We need a slogan. We don't have a slogan for our show.
Yeah,
Or a
it's on our website.
What is it?
1% quality, 99% ramblings.
That's not our slogan. That
is
can't
a
be our slogan.
fantastic slogan.
No.
Okay, fine. Wait,
I didn't sign off on that.
Can we just be like 1% quality?
Well, let's shoot for 2% quality. Let's
That's
let's
like
shoot
shooting for the moon,
Let's shoot for
man.
3% quality, and our slogan can be 3%. One better than milk.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. 3% quality. One better than
One
milk.
better than milk.
That's good.
Nice.
All right. You ready to kick this puppy off?
Let's kick it.
Welcome, everybody, to the Animation Station Pod. I was thinking about doing something different.
Yeah.
Because, there's a lot of podcasts that are like, hey, guys, welcome to the Animation Station Pod. And they go like that.
Uh-huh.
Or we can just be like, oh, can you do, like, drunk history?
Like, hi, my name's Gavin, and today we're going to be talking about...
Yeah, exactly. We're like,
Okay.
hello,
Yeah.
I'm
Can
Josh.
do you have a cocktail for me? Because I would prefer to have a cocktail in my hand if
No,
that were
but
the
you have a
case.
cafe.
No, that'll work. Okay.
So you got to hold it in your hand. All
All right, I got it.
Hi. No, they don't say hi. It's like, hello, I'm Josh,
I'm Gavin.
and we're here to tell you the story of Rise of the Guardians.
Yes. Yes, we are.
And then we take a drink. Welcome to the Animation Station Podcast, episode
20.
20.
Man.
The big 20.
20
We're
in the
almost
books.
old enough to drink.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, as I take a sip of coffee. Yeah, it's crazy that we've been doing this for 20 weeks now. Because we've been doing it's one episode a week, right?
One
We've
episode
never
a week.
skipped a week, and we've never had more than one episode a week. We've
we-
had some bonus
It's
content.
like, we've
but,
never skipped a week.
well, hey now. People have things going
Hey
on.
now.
Hey now.
Oh, wow, that's awful. We're bad.
We're just all over the place today. This is going to be an interesting episode, I can tell. So, let's go ahead and get started with episode 20. So, what's going on in the world of animation? I know we got some tiddly tidbits from the world of Coco.
There was a lot of stuff out of Coco.
Was it a lot, or did
No,
it just
there's-
seem like a lot because we've had zero
Well,
so far?
Exactly. Any little bit. They gave us a new image and
Uh-huh.
3 of the characters.
Now, before we had talked about, we thought there might have been an image already. I kind of feel like that's the first image.
Well, there's the one like I said, they have that one with him sitting on the he's like sitting down on the ground and he's got
Really?
the guitar.
Okay,
Yeah.
I still have not seen that image,
Yeah, that's all right.
but that's cool. That's cool.
That was like the very first one that they did to announce the movie. It was like, oh yeah, here we go.
Oh.
Here's a picture.
Okay.
But I do like that the kid, he has a red hoodie just like Marco Diaz in Star Wars.
He does look a little like Marco,
like-
I guess.
If he has a little mole right there, a little cute little mole,
Mole, mole, mole.
then it's Marco.
And the story sounds pretty cool. It's all about him trying to be a musician, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't read too much into it
Mm-hmm.
because I don't like the spoilery stuff. And
Meaning
even though
you don't need to know a whole lot more.
exactly,
to be
just
invested.
just let me know. Like I was
Yeah, I
already gonna
agree.
go see it.
I agree. What encourages me is that the Pixar movies have never been. First of all, they've never done a musical like Disney.
Yeah.
And they've never really centered a movie around music. They've never really tackled that as a topic or subject. And so that gets me excited to see what they can do with a movie that's really kind of centralized around a theme of music. I think it could be really cool.
Yeah, Entertainment Weekly.
So I'm sure Miranda will get his hands on it.
Yeah. Entertainment Weekly basically said the movie is set to be music packed, but not quite a musical film.
Right.
So it's like, okay, so you're gonna give us a lot of music. So you're gonna be almost no, I guess. Hercules?
Well, see, it's gonna skirt that line, and it's gonna play with that definition. You know, we've mentioned it several times on the show about where do you draw the line of, is this a musical or is this just a movie with some songs in it? It's a tough line to draw, and some movies ride that line. You know, I think Lion King's a good example because I think I put it as a musical and you don't quite put it as a musical.
Well, because it just doesn't seem like a musical. It seems like
to me, it seems
fun
like it is.
action rom-com.
It's not, you know, like, well, speaking of Miranda, it's not like Hamilton where almost every single moment of it is sung or rapped, or like
there's like no
Les Mis. Like Les Mis, there's no dialogue. It is all song lyric.
Well, that's basically the way Hamilton is. There's just a couple
There's
parts.
There's a few lines in there, yeah.
But they have that cool spinning stage.
But there are many classic examples of musicals with tons of dialogue and just songs thrown in. You know, like The Music Man. Yeah. And so, I don't know. I feel like Lion King is just as musical as many of those other musicals. So, anyway, that's a tangential topic.
Yeah,
for another podcast.
Yeah, and we did have some cool anime news come out. We've got Dragon Ball Super, which is...
So is that better than Z?
No, it's like the continuation of Z.
So it's Dragon Ball later.
Dragon Ball later, pretty much, yeah. But it's set to premiere January 7th on Toonami, and it's going to be the English dub, brought to you by the wonderful people over at Funimation.
So, since I'm not a TV guy, and some of our listeners might not be TV guys and gals, is Toonami its own channel?
No, it's on Cartoon Network.
Okay, I thought it was Cartoon Network, and it's kind of like a block of
it's
shows.
basically
kind of
their,
like Adult
their
Swim was,
block.
okay, got it.
Yeah, and then we got some more great news from again Funimation, and Attack on Titan Season 2 is set to premiere in April of 2017.
When did Season 1 end?
2013.
Dude, what's up with the cartoons and the delays?
Dude, anime is like
Gravity Falls took 4 years to come out with 2 seasons.
With anime, what they did was, and
are they waiting for the manga?
Yeah, you usually have to. You have to wait for the manga or the light novel to catch up with itself.
I don't like that.
And
it's like, isn't Game of Thrones gonna have to end up waiting for George R.R. Martin?
No, they already went on their.
They just went on their merry
There's enough
way.
differences between the book and the show that it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's already wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Walking Dead. Like, there's so many differences between the comic and the show. Like, there are people that are dead in the comic. Did it
start as a comic?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the comic came after.
Dude, I have them right back there. You should read those. They're really good.
Not really my bag. But I remember working at Barnes & Noble and looking at them. I know the artwork, and I like the artwork, okay. But I was under the strong impression that they were based on the show.
No.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like
you learn something every day.
Yeah, and the comics are, honestly, they're better.
Well,
but that's usually what happens. You can tell more in a comic and a book. The same thing with like manga and like the light novels that they have in Japan. You can tell way more with those than you actually can in the manga, and that is one of the curses of anime. Yeah. That's why there's a lot of anime that only has 12 episodes or 24 episodes because they run out of source material.
That's the thing. I wish they would have more original source material because I've said it on the show before. I'm all for, or not all for. My opinion is that whatever the story, whatever format it originated as, so if it started as a book, or if it started as a comic series, or if it started as manga, or if it started as a show, that always to me seems like the best version. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I can't think of anything I know that's based on something else where I didn't like the something else best. It's not that I don't like anything that's based on something else. It's just like the something else is usually, it's the original. It's got, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's something about
Well,
that.
see, I like the Force Awakens book better than I like the Force Awakens movie. I thought the book was way better.
I wouldn't know. I've not read it, so I can't really say. But to me,
got it on Audible.
weren't those kind of created concurrently? Like,
yeah, it's basically
it's kind of like
the novel
Arthur
is...
C. Clarke and oh my gosh, his name, Stanley Kubrick, created the novel and the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey at the same time. So they're virtually the same experience.
Yeah,
so I kind of feel like that's a similar case here.
Well, the novel is basically like the screenplay. Like, here's the screenplay, here's everything that we want in the movie. And then the movie's like, oh, well, this snowspeeder chase bit, it kind of doesn't do anything, so we'll get rid of that.
They lost a snowspeeder chase
This
scene?
whole part with Poe Dameron, where he basically escapes from Jakku, cut it out of the movie. Really cool in the book. He basically like Tokyo drifts his way out of everything. It's so cool, but they're like, nah, I don't want this in the movie.
Man, maybe it'll be in the director's cut. Did they film it?
I don't think so. They may have filmed a little bit of the snowspeeder chase. That's why, like, when you see Rey and Finn go into the like where the place where Han Solo dies, like the generator facility or whatever, there's a snowspeeder behind them, and they're coming from it.
Oh.
So they're like, well, they had it in there. They just didn't do anything. And the what the fat Simon Pegg guy character's name is it Unkar Plutzer?
Omar Plot.
Lamar Odom. Chewbacca goes and like rips his arms off, and it's like, dude, it's so cool. And that's when you learn that Rey sucks.
Rey sucks.
Yeah, she totally tries to sell BB-8.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bad. You're like, when I was listening to it, I was like,
the movie's better then.
Well, listening to it, I was like, oh, Rey, you just.
Was she tempted, or was she actually trying?
Oh no, she was like.
But he wouldn't give her enough.
It basically came down to she's like, I want the droid. He's like, I'll give you X amount of protein or food packs, and she's like, make it this many, and he was like, okay, and she's like,
to be fair,
and she's like, oh snap, and so she like grabs him, and is like stuffing him in her bag, and she's like, dude, this is great, and then she's like, oh, well, I don't really like this guy. He's kind of pervy. Which he is they say that in the book. He's like, he's kind of pervy to her. So he's like, no, I don't want it anymore. Yeah, so that's basically what happens. And then she kisses, or like hugs, I don't think she kisses. She like hugs Poe and is like, oh, he's kind of cute. While Finn is basically laying unconscious with a lightsaber bolt across his back. Read the books, guys. It's...
it sounds like a different experience. So, yeah. I don't know. I can understand that she doesn't, at that point, really necessarily have any attachment towards this droid that just kind of showed up. So I don't have a problem with her selling BB-8. I mean,
exactly.
We all fell in love with BB-8 because we knew BB-8 for 6 months before this movie came out. She didn't, you know. So. But
I mean, like they cut it out of the movie. I'm like, I understand why they cut it out of the movie, because you don't want people to have like an uneasy feeling towards your heroine. Like at the very beginning of the movie.
Right.
So it's like, I understand, but it's also like once you read that and you're like, oh, well, she kind of sucks. Like, she's not a good girl, this lady.
Well, I think they made some wise choices in the movie. Yeah. Sounds like they missed some action, but I don't know. I felt satisfied with Force Awakens.
Well, I'm glad you did.
How did this turn into a Star Wars episode?
We talked about books. How original content is better. But no, like that happens in anime a lot. Back to the anime bit, where like in the best example that I can think of is Full Metal Alchemist. They had an original Full Metal Alchemist, and because like the manga was really popular in Japan, so like, oh crap, this is really popular. We got to capitalize. So they came out with the anime while the manga's still going on, and so in like 4 or 5 episodes, they caught up, and they were like...
that's the part that I don't understand.
Actually, no, it probably wasn't 4 or 5. It was probably like maybe 10. But still, like, of a 24-episode season, when you catch up with the anime halfway through, they're like, oh, crap, we caught up. Let's just start making stuff up. And then it just got bad. It was awful. So what they did afterwards, they waited completely until the manga was finished, and then they were like, you know what? We're going to do a brand new series. We're going to call it Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Mainly because our two main characters are brothers.
I think you've mentioned this before, right?
Yeah, and so they come out with Brotherhood, and it basically goes almost...
It was a do-over, right?
Yeah, do-over, and almost goes word for word with the manga. Nice. And it's fantastic.
Cool.
Because, someone who read the manga and then watched the show, it's like, oh, well, that's perfect.
But is it one of those examples where it's just totally true, so it's kind of the same experience?
Yeah, but it's also cooler like when you see something acted out on the screen.
I guess that's where I'm always a little mystified. Like, I'd rather the movie or the show be a little different because I've already had the experience.
Well, I mean, there's some stuff that you don't include because it's kind of like filler stuff. That that happens.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you have some anime like Bleach and One Piece and Fairy Tail and Naruto, where they catch up, like they do really good. They catch up to the manga, and then they just have nothing but filler, which is just extra garbage that has nothing to do with anything. And filler, 9 times out of 10, is horrible because
My
usually what happens.
My impression of anime filler is like some guy just like powering up or whatever it is for like 20 minutes.
Kinda.
Or like flying through the air with a kick, like a slow motion kick for like 15 minutes.
Oh, you mean like in Dragon Ball Z where Goku charges the Spirit Bomb for 3 episodes.
Right.
Does that, and then when what is it? It's Piccolo's talking with Cell, and he's like, go ahead and tell me about your story. And then we tell the story for like 5 episodes. And then Piccolo's like, haha, I grew my arm while you were doing that. It's like, come on.
How does anime get away with that?
Because, dude,
Why
it's
do
anime,
people
man.
let them do this crap?
Well, see, here's the thing. Anime is an escapism. It's an escapism. That's like all TV and movies and books. It's all escape.
Boredom, that's not a good escape.
No, it's not boredom because that's backstory.
Only you, Josh.
Yeah,
Only
dude,
you
gotta know what's going on.
And hundreds of millions of other anime fans.
Yeah. Don't tread on us, bro.
I like my little 1 hour, 15-minute animated features, and then I'm out. That's what I like. So speaking of animated features, are we done with the news?
I think we're done with the news. We went on for 20 minutes about the news.
Yeah, there was like 1 minute of news.
There's like 2 bits of news in there.
19 minutes of tangential things. So, dude, we watched a really cool movie this week, and I'm really excited to talk about it. And I think you are too, because you really liked it.
I watched it twice.
Woohoo! That is so cool. I love it when we can show each other something that really knocks one of our socks off. And
it's usually you knocking my socks off.
I don't know, man. Padma Inverted was
Hotel
life-changing.
Transylvania?
Yeah, that's true. You
Spirited
really did
Away?
dig that. Yeah.
Well,
that was just
you
know, we went to go see an anniversary thing on the big screen. It wasn't really part of our plan until we found out about it, but I'm glad it knocked your socks off. Anyway,
we gotta go see Mononoke. That's on the 9th.
Dude.
Can you get off on the 9th?
Oh, dude, I'm golden by then.
That's like a Monday.
I'm golden by then.
Because that's the dub, because I don't want to read it. Especially with all the action in Mononoke. No, I don't want to read that.
I mean, I don't really mind after I've seen a film 4 or 5 times because I kind of know the story at that point.
But we're going to miss out on Billy Bob Thornton.
He's so...
He's so bad in that movie.
It's a weird choice. Anyway.
And we'll miss Ashikata being like, Spirit!
Oh, gosh. That's true.
Like, weird, yelly, but monotone at the same time voice.
It was slightly awkward. So this episode is brought to you by Tangents. Tangents. Keep them fresh all day long. Anyway, so we watched the Dreamworks film Rise of the Guardians, and many people confuse it with Legend of the Guardians. Don't do that. That's the movie about the owls.
And people confuse it with Guardians of Ga'Hoole.
Which is Legends of the Guardians.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, but I like that movie. I think that's a fine movie. But this is Rise of the Guardians, about all of the holiday figures, such as Saint Nick, Easter Bunny, Sandman. I guess he's not a holiday.
No,
Tooth Fairy's not a holiday either. But
Jack Frost also not technically
2 holidays and 3 other mythical figures. Pitch Black isn't a holiday either. But yeah, so this is what we watched, and we both enjoyed it. So I'm really excited to talk a little bit about it. This movie came out in 2012. So it's only about 4 years old. I kind of felt like it was older. It seems like forever ago since I saw it, but for something that old, I think you have to admit the animation is pretty stellar. It's probably one of the best as far as animation quality from the Dreamworks canon, as far as I can tell. It was, interestingly enough, based on a series of books by William Joyce, who, as you remember, in last week's episode, Meet the Robinsons, was also based on a William Joyce book. So kind of have a running theme this month of William Joyce. I think we're out, though, after this. I don't think there's any more.
Boy and the Beast was William Joyce.
Yeah, right. Is that what we're doing next? Boy and the Beast?
No, Lion King's next, and then Boy and the Beast closes out the year.
Sweet. Man, what a good year. Interesting people that worked on it. Really, the biggest name that jumped out to me was Guillermo del Toro. Helped really sculpt the visual look for this movie. And I think visually it's quite stunning. The design work on it is very unique. I don't think this movie looks like any other movie I've ever seen, especially when we're talking about the environments and set design, things like that.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about that. That's going to be fun.
No, let's get into it. The one other thing that I just want to mention real quick is that I saw interesting is that according to Wikipedia, the director Peter Ramsey is the first African American director of any big budget CG animated feature. I thought that was pretty interesting, and to me it speaks to the fact that when I look at the animation field, and I may be totally wrong, but all of the people that I know of are white guys. It's like it's interesting that I don't feel like there's a lot of diversity or diverse people who are interested in animation. Maybe it's just a cultural thing that animation interests white people more. I don't know. I find that really interesting that he's the first one and it's 2012.
I would assume maybe in like different markets.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's in the United States, but I mean I would think there's like French or people like that. Like,
yeah, obviously there's Japanese directors in Japan and there's Chinese directors in China and.
Well, no, I mean like maybe they're well, like it's weird to say, African Americans for someone in France. So
that would be African French. Right?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, there might be around the world. I don't know, but I guess domestically, like when you look at animated films, if it's human characters, it's almost always without fail white characters.
Yeah.
There's hardly any diversity. That's one of the great things about Moana is it's giving us some diversity. It's like, hey, there's different types of people and they're awesome.
Yeah, I mean we've got Princess and the Frog too, which
Tiana was a standout.
It gets overlooked more. I think because it falls in that tangled, frozen, like just hole,
right
and
before
it
that,
just gets thrown away pretty much.
Yeah, the problem is it was the last 2D film that Disney did, and it came on the heels of probably the worst 2D film they ever did, and so I think most people were kind of. It's called Home on the Range. You ever seen that movie? It's about animals on a farm. The main character is a cow.
Oh,
voiced by Roseanne.
Had that movie.
Yeah. So,
no, wait, that's the Barnyard one. I'm thinking of the Nickelodeon one.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that one is.
That's the one with like Kevin James or something.
Yeah, this one features Roseanne, who I love her show, but as an animated character, not gonna be able to do it. No, pass. It was bad. It was a financial failure, and that's what Princess and the Frog was following.
Disney has not made a Barnyard animal movie since.
Well, they did Chicken Little after that, so
has not done a barnyard.
There's
but
barnyard animals. They're not in a barn.
They lived in the city.
True, but they were.
Chicken Little's basically Jimmy Neutron.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I find that interesting, and I don't know the answer. I'm not an insider in the industry, but like I said, everybody, like every famous person I know in animation, pretty much is Caucasian. I mean, I know one or two examples, I guess, otherwise, but I don't know. I find that interesting that it still seems to be so lacking in diversity. Anyway, let's talk about this movie. Josh,
Yes.
what did you like about this movie?
I liked the hair
There's lots
in the
of
movie.
cool hair.
I liked the cool feathers in the movie. I liked all the frost effects in the movie.
Mhm. Oh,
I,
yeah.
I liked the story of the movie. I liked all the little. And watching it again, there was more stuff that I noticed. I want to sit with somebody at DreamWorks who knew about this, like who worked on this film,
Mm-hmm.
just so I can see. Like Jamie has the little boy.
Mm-hmm.
He has a shirt on,
Yep.
and I want to know what's on that shirt. I also took a picture of that. He has a little temporary tattoo on his. It would be his left hand,
Mm-hmm.
just randomly towards the end of the movie. He's got a little temp tattoo on, and I'm like, what is that? Like when we watched it last night, I was like, he's got a temporary tattoo. Gavin, do you know what that temporary tattoo is? And you didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it until you pointed
Dude,
it out.
see, that's the thing. Maths and sciences, I can't do those.
Yeah.
Random little bits of garbage on
In
like,
any category,
anything,
in any format.
I know, I catch that, like
Josh
eagle
is a
eye.
sponge for that.
But yeah, so I took a picture. It looks like a clown, I guess.
Yeah.
But also, like on his T-shirt, like his pajamas,
Mhm.
like it's got like a star on it, but
Uh-huh.
it also has two moons. Like one's
Hmm.
like a full moon and one's like the crescent moon.
Okay.
So it's like, is that
Or
some
is it
sort of?
sun, star, and moon?
It looks like I don't know, maybe sun, star, moon.
Hmm.
But anyway, there is a moon on there. So I was like, is that like a? And I think that
I
they're
mean,
playing
that
guitar.
could be like the DreamWorks moon.
Yeah, it's what it looks
you
like.
know?
But I was also like, is that some sort of like symbolism with the movie,
Maybe.
with the man in the moon?
I mean, sometimes they have people that are just, it's like, hey, this kid's wearing a T-shirt, come up with a T-shirt design. And, some, like, apprentice goes,
Yeah.
oh, cool, I'm going to come up with a little T-shirt design for this kid to wear.
It was really,
plug
like,
it
I was
in
like,
and-
oh, that's so cool. And
Yeah.
then he's got, like, Adventure Quest or
Mhm.
something
Yeah,
like that.
it's
Adventure Quest 9 or
One
something
of the
like
things
that.
that I've taken to ever since we watched Paranorman and then Monster House
Yeah.
is looking at the posters on the kids' walls, because these movies always have kids' rooms with cool posters on the wall. And this one, it seemed like there were some cool posters, but we didn't get any good looks at them really,
No,
like
yeah.
we did with those other two movies.
I had
to
to go in and pause and, like, look at him.
that zombie one. What was it called?
The one
shoot,
from
Paranorman. What was it
I don't
called?
remember.
Mondo Zombie.
Mondo
I want to
Zombie.
do that one, and then I want to do that Scream one from Monster House
House.
as like a pair. I think that'd be really cool.
That would be nifty.
Anyway,
But you
yeah.
actually have to make them poster size so I can buy one.
I will try to. I will do my best. I'll try and do them digitally so that they can be blown up.
Blown up. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So it sounds like you liked all aspects of this movie.
And the voice cast.
Yeah, I thought the voice cast was really good. I think they did a stupendous job. So I want to start a little bit just by talking about the visuals of the movie. Like I said, I think this is one of their best output as far as animation quality. The textures, the effects, the lighting, which is ridiculous.
What have they done since? Because this was 2012.
Since?
What's
Oh,
come out
gosh.
other than like the Minions and like probably another Shrek?
No, the Minions wasn't them.
Wasn't DreamWorks?
No. Let's see. How to Train Your Dragon 2 came out since
Okay.
then. Kung Fu Panda maybe 2 and 3 have come out since then. What else? They've got a lot of movies, man, which we discovered as we looked
Doing
towards our top
lists.
5. Spoiler. So, yeah, I mean, they've done a number of things since then. And, most recently was Trolls, which we haven't
Oh, yeah,
seen yet,
Trolls.
but I'm still excited to see it. We
They're
missed
doing-
it in
are
the
they-
theater.
They're doing Boss Baby too, right?
Yep, Boss
Boss
Baby's
Baby
their
comes
next
out.
one, so they get busy, man. Megamind came out since then.
Oh yeah.
A lot of movies, man. But
All of those
this
that
one,
you've named, not seen them.
wow. This one, to me, just has so much richness. I mean, it's a classic eye candy kind of movie where there's color and texture and design and interesting form everywhere you look.
Everything looks lived in, too.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like, oh, this is a town that we created for the movie.
Right.
It looks like, oh, this is the town. Like, that's one of the problems with Monster House. Monster House looks like...
It's a little stark.
Yeah, this is a street that we created for this movie because we're only going to be in 3 locations.
Yeah. And, well, when they come to that construction site or that landfill in that movie, then I think it looks really real. Like, oh, this is like a real place here.
Yeah, like one of the 3 locations that they're... Well, I guess technically 4 because they go to the pizza place once.
Go to the pizza place?
When Napoleon Dynamite's playing the thing.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Okay. But yeah, I think Rise of the Guardians just has a wonderful look to it. And, you know, to me, that's what immediately draws me in. And then we get to the characters. And I think the character designs are really cool. I love the direction that they took. They weren't afraid to give Santa Claus 2 swords and tattoos.
And his tats are so cool.
Give him a Russian accent. And they weren't afraid to make the Easter Bunny some macho,
Australian
boomerang slinging Aussie, which was an amazing choice. It was so cool. And then I love their concept of the Tooth Fairy, who is basically
an actual,
a hummingbird fairy with little miniature hummingbird fairies at her beck and call, who were so adorable. And like you said, the feathers on it, ridiculous. Yeah. It was so ridiculous. And then Sandman just being this little sand dude who creates the dreams.
I like that he didn't talk.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool...
speaks through little images he makes with his sand.
That was a nice little touch.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what can we do to differentiate Sandman?
Yeah.
Maybe he can't talk.
And then, of course, we have the forerunner to Elsa, Jack Frost, who has his icy
Disney
hair.
Totally ripped it off.
I don't think so, but I do think it's funny that after both of those movies came out, because Frozen followed it the next year, all of a sudden the internet blew up with fan art of shipping those two. I think a lot of the theory though is that Elsa doesn't really swing that way. But anyway.
Well, it doesn't matter because Jack Frost totally is going to get with the Tooth Fairy.
That might happen, yeah. I mean, I guess there's
Guardians
something
2.
there. Yeah, I mean, that would be cool if they did another one.
And then we can call it Electric Toothaloo.
At this point, I don't know if they are because unfortunately, it was not really a financial success for them. It's kind of sad, and I hate when that happens.
Dreamworks, call me because I already have a script laid out. I know where they can go with this one.
Wow!
And you can do the art on it. So what we do for Guardians 2, Dreamworks, contact me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the backstory of what the Guardians were like previously.
Oh, see, that's a problem, and I'll tell you why. William Joyce was a producer on this movie, and he very specifically made this one 300 years after the books so that people wouldn't compare them to the books.
Do the books go into
the
other Guardians? Okay,
yeah, it's the
never
origin
mind
of each of
All
them.
right.
Yeah, that's already been done, and William Joyce wanted this to be separate, which goes back to our earlier conversation. I love that. I love that he wanted to keep that separate so that people aren't going, oh, but this didn't happen in the books
now.
They look really good.
DreamWorks, give me about 3 weeks and call me back.
All right, Josh is busy concocting a new plot.
I got this.
All right.
Don't worry, I got this.
I believe in you, dude. So, all the characters. And then we get to the villain. Now, the villain is the only character design that I felt was a little almost undone, or unfinished. I feel like it's a really good start, and I love his power and the things around him and all the effects of that kind of black sand, kind of the opposite of Sandman, where he delivers
he's
nightmares.
He's just like anti-Sandman.
Yeah,
like they both
exactly.
use the whole almost sand quality, which is really cool.
And I love what they did there, but I don't know, like his face, there's not as much texture or detail on it, and I get that he's kind of a shadowy black.
You know what he kind of looks like? He kind of looks like a newer version of Hades from
a little
Hercules,
bit, yeah.
Except
kind
without
of those pointy
the hair.
teeth and without the flaming hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but
he looks like Benedict Cumberbatch.
you said that during the movie. He does kind of look like
I'm gonna refer to him as Benedict Cumberbatch the whole time.
And he does have a British accent, but it's Jude Law's accent.
Jude Law. Why aren't you in more films, Jude Law?
I agree. I like Jude Law. Anyway, he's the only one that I feel like wasn't like top notch as far as his design, but I love the way they used him, and you know, I would still grade this as an A on character design.
Yeah,
I think it's really good.
The kids weren't that good either.
You know, like, it's tough.
Jamie and his sister were really good, but some of the other ones, like Cupcake, the two, I guess they look like twins, the brothers.
Yeah, I think they were brothers.
And then the goofy hair glasses kid, he kind of actually looked like he would fit in there. But the one girl with the hat, she kind of looked like she would fit in too, but she looked a little bit weird. Like her face wasn't, didn't look proportional. But
I don't mind that as much because they're not used in every scene. It's like
but they're used in the climax of the movie.
Yeah, that's true. But that's the most challenging thing for animation is trying to animate humans in any sort of a nearly realistic way. And yes, they were still stylized. Their proportions were not, anatomically accurate as far as, realistic human form, but they're going for a less stylized version of characters than they were with the Guardians. So they wanted them to look more people-like. And that, it gets real challenging. If you don't go super stylized, like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, or movies where you're not trying to go where you're trying to go more cartoony, then you can pull off a lot more. Or like How to Train Your Dragon. That's another DreamWorks movie that has great character design of humans. They don't look realistic. They look real cartoony and great. And you have to make that choice, which direction you want to go. And they went with the more human-like in this. I think they did a pretty good job. It's not the worst.
No.
I mean, it's a huge leap forward from something like Monster House.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my main problems with that movie. And honestly, it's not a big problem. It's just I wish they would have been touched up a little bit better. But it's also like, the rest of the characters are great. I mean, again, we don't, like what you said, we don't really spend a lot of time with those characters. We spend, of the kids, it's Jamie and his sister who actually look good on screen.
Yeah.
The other ones don't really matter because they have like 4 lines. So they're like, who cares?
Right.
But, that's my only, honestly, character-wise, that's my only gripe. I thought Benedict Cumberbatch looked fine.
Yeah, he looked fine. I just, for some reason, when he comes on the screen, I feel like there's just some small layer that's lacking when I'm comparing him to the other Guardians, because they're all so spectacular. You know what I mean? When I'm comparing him to the Guardians.
Okay.
I'm not saying the other Guardians, like he's one, but I just feel like they're so fully realized, and I don't know, maybe that's intentional because he's barely made it back to corporeal form.
And the Man in the Moon has changed.
It's kind of like Voldemort.
All of those characters.
Yeah.
Because he gives Jack paler skin and awesome, cool white hair.
Icy hair.
And he turned the Easter Bunny from regular bunny into
the
an
awesome
Aussie
bunny.
He turned Santa Claus into this ginger kid who worked at the post office.
What?
That was like the Rankin and Bass.
Oh.
Old ones. Remember the old Jack Frost? I forget it.
No, I don't think I ever saw
the
it.
Old, or there was some origin of Santa Claus movie. He was this ginger guy. He's like, he's like this sticky guy.
Tim Allen was the origin of Santa Claus.
Yeah, they turned Tim Allen into Alec Baldwin, who didn't sound anything like Alec Baldwin.
I know. How great did he do?
It was so good.
Amazing.
Knowing it.
Yeah.
Watching it the first time, I was like, I don't know who plays. Then knowing it's Alan Baldwin, knowing it's Pete Schweddy, going into the second showing, I'm like, oh man, he doesn't sound anything like Alan Baldwin. Now, Jack did sound like Captain Kirk.
Yes,
that's basically
true.
his
That's
bit.
true.
But I was
I'll tell you this: when I saw it when did that first Star Trek movie come out? Was it after 2012?
No.
No?
They've made 3. I think the first one was like 2009.
Really? Has it been that long?
Yeah, because I went to a Vegas convention.
Wow.
And, yeah, the last time I went to one of those was 2009.
At that point, I wasn't familiar enough with Chris Pine that when I watched the movie, I never knew who it was. I never knew that was him. And I think I told you, my original impression of it, because I don't read the casts ahead of time. Like, I don't know going into it. It doesn't matter to me. I kind of thought it was John Cusack.
Yeah, it does.
They
I can
kind
see
of
that.
have
Yeah, they
similar
have, like,
voices.
that same...
Kind of soft-spoken almost.
Not knowing who Chris Pine was or seeing him in anything, yeah, I'd be like, okay, that's John Cusack.
Yeah.
But knowing who Chris Pine is and being a fan,
once
like,
you know,
that's
it's
Chris
like,
Pine.
oh, okay, yeah.
And Isla Fisher as the Tooth Fairy,
yeah, she was great.
Casting.
She was fantastic. I think the voice cast was amazing. It really was. They did a fantastic job on that level. So I know you're itching to get into it. Why don't you talk a little bit about the story and what you liked about it?
Dude, that story. It was real. Okay, so what makes a good movie for me is when you have your villain that you can relate to. If you have somebody where that you understand his motivation, and Benedict Cumberbatch throughout the whole entire movie, he's basically saying like, yeah, I don't want to be alone. Like, I didn't like it when they couldn't see me, so I gathered up my powers, and now they're going to recognize me.
Yeah.
And the other Guardians, they kind of like shun me and cast me aside. And basically, he's trying to get with Jag, and it's like, Jag, I mean, we're the same pretty much.
Yeah.
I just went down a darker
moment.
I just went down a darker role.
Yeah.
And I
different sides of the same coin.
Exactly. I thought that was perfect.
I totally agree.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Like he and Frost are probably my 2 favorite characters.
Ever?
No,
or
in the movie.
Okay.
Jack Frost may be my favorite white-haired protagonist in any movie.
Nice.
I'm trying to think of white-haired protagonists.
Well, you got him and Elsa. And...
What else you got? Danny Phantom, I guess.
I don't know who that is. Surely there's anime protagonists with white hair.
I mean, the dude from Tokyo Ghoul, but he kind of is a... we'll kind of leave him out of things.
So, I mean, you're talking about that scene where Frost is basically... He's having that Darth Vader moment. He's like, come with me. Like, we could rule this if we team up.
Yeah.
And it's perfect because they've already shown you Jack's motivation and his, like, what his continual struggle is that he just wants to be seen and he wants, to be part of the world in a real way. And when you learn that Pitch Black has the exact same yearning and that he's explaining that to Jack, it's so good.
You get it twice. You get a little glimpse the first time when he, goes and attacks the Tooth Fairies.
Right, yeah.
There's like, you haven't been relevant since the Middle Ages. And he's like, the Middle Ages were great. People actually cared about me and they were scared of me. And then you guys came and ruined it all. And it's like, wow, you know what? That's actually kind of, what you're doing is kind of, like, from your point of view, you're the good guy here. And when a bad guy thinks that, or when you have a villain who thinks what they're doing is just and right, that's always fantastic.
Yeah,
I
agree.
The main problem I had with the story was the end. I didn't like that he just kind of like went, like he just kind of gets like attacked by his horses and like
took him off.
Yeah, and dragged to hell or wherever.
Well, I think it leaves ambiguity and it leaves it open.
It does leave it open, which is
Rise 2,
which is good.
So get busy on that script, Josh Kane.
Dreamworks has given me 3 weeks here to come up with a script, and I can do it in 3 weeks.
All right.
So beginning of the year, call me. I got it.
Nice.
But yeah, that was my only problem. Like, I wish it would have been something more along the lines of kind of like a Disney ending. Where, well, no, a Disney ending, he probably would have like actually physically died because that's what Disney likes to do.
Well, what about something where he's just like stripped of his powers?
Yeah, and then they're like,
figure out a way to just live.
When he ran off, if he just would have run off and kind of like looked back, maybe like seen them having fun and just kind of like dipped his head and be like, well, I guess this is me for another 1,000 years, and walks away, that would have been. Because it would have been a little bit more heartbreaking, too.
Yeah.
But instead of just him getting, like, drug away, it's like, oh, well,
10,000 years in the Cave of Wonders ought to chill him out.
Yeah. So that was the one. Well, it didn't even last that long. It just took another movie. Jeez. Yeah, but that's my only real problem with the story. I liked that we did get a little bit of Jack, like Jack's story. I thought that was kind of cool.
I liked the way that they wove in those flashbacks as he kind of learns what's going on, and then that climactic memory that he taps into really kind of shows you, the reason that he is what he is, and I just think it's so cool. And then the fact that he connects so strongly with Jamie.
Yeah, and
at
that's
the end,
that's
I thought
the
that
one
was really
thing,
beautiful.
That is another thing I wanted for the end. Like, I liked what they did with the bringing the kids back to bed, because that's what I was telling you, when we didn't know if there was anything during the credits. I was like, how are those kids gonna get back? They're stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Frozen pond
and they literally flew away, and we're like, bye kids, have fun there. That's where you're gonna be the rest of your lives, which will probably be 20 hours.
They've got eggs and elves. And
but I mean,
Yetis.
Not knowing that. But
how about those Yetis? Those were cool, right?
I think John DiMaggio was one of those Yetis.
I don't know.
Bender from Futurama.
Oh, really?
It's the one who comes in the first time, the first time that we meet. That's basically tells him to go look at the map. He's like, roo. It sounded like John DiMaggio. I was like,
nice.
But no, what I really wanted for the end was, maybe it's a 20 years later. And you see Jamie just kind of sitting on a bench or something, and you see a snowflake, and then he's just like, "Hey, Jack," and boom, it ends. It's that would have been perfect.
Yeah, I agree. That would have been really cool,
and that would have touched. That would have brought it. That would have brought a tear.
Use that as motivation.
That's going to be the end
for Volume 2
of the movie.
It could be the beginning of the next movie. Maybe it starts 20 years in the future. Maybe it's about Jamie's kid.
Well, it can be Jamie's kid. That's totally fine. But I want Jamie to have that. I want that to be the touching after the credits scene, to where you've just watched all of the animators and you've seen who the gaffer is and the best boy and the gripper and everything like that. And then you have that scene and you're like, you get that tightness in the chest and that tear starts to girl and you're like,
that's hilarious.
That's what I want.
So the interesting thing to me here is that aside from a little kind of crush, a one-sided crush, there's no romance in this movie.
Another problem with the movie. That's what happens in Guardians 2.
Okay.
We get Jack and the Tooth Fairy because she does hug him and she's like, ooh, and then, Baby Tooth comes over.
You have to admit, it's not necessary in this movie. There's plenty going on, and that would have just muddied the water, I think.
It would have.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting, though.
But
and
they set it up, too, because, he sees her and, when he's like, well, why did I ever get out of this business, when she's, floating above Jamie's bed.
Yeah.
And they, kind of exchanging things. There's some holding on. She rescues him. Then, that
You're
whole...
You're just looking for it in every little movement.
Dude, my romance star just goes right to it, man.
That's hilarious. Well, I think it's a testament to the quality of the story that you like it so much, and it lacks your favorite thing about stories.
Great Christmas movie.
Yeah.
That takes place a couple of days before Easter. But it doesn't matter. Weird. Whenever you have Santa Claus, it's a Christmas movie. I don't care.
Except for Nightmare Before Christmas.
You know what? Totally a Christmas movie. You know why? Because Santa Claus is in it. Christmas.
And it happens at Christmas.
Exactly.
It happens at both Halloween and Christmas.
It technically happens during Thanksgiving. But
that's pretty true.
But
actually.
It's okay because they made it available for everybody throughout the world. That's why there's not a Thanksgiving Day or Thanksgiving door, because only Americans...
There was a turkey.
Oh.
There was a turkey door.
Well, never mind then. That threw that out the window.
Well,
Darn you, Tim Burton.
Yep. He ruined it. Just destroyed it. So, what was your favorite part in this movie?
Jack's hair.
Jack's hair.
Like Disney has water down pat. They have nobody's gonna do.
You don't think they've got hair down?
No, not as good as Dreamworks.
Has Dreamworks done anything like Maui's hair?
Or
Merida's hair?
Yeah, remember the little kid in Storks?
No.
Dude, we watched Storks.
I know. What
His
little
hair
kid?
was awesome. The kid in Storks, the only good part of Storks.
What does his hair look like? Remind me. I cannot picture it
It looks
right
like Jamie's hair. And the kid in
Okay,
Boss Baby.
I mean,
He's got anime-style hair, too.
I
Jack totally has anime hair, too.
I did like that they had different colors of hair in Storks. I thought that was cool. But, I mean, yeah. I mean, is it the styles that you like? You like the styles that they're doing better.
Yeah.
Because the actual animation
like
quality
plus,
of the hair.
Plus, Disney
like
is...
Moana's hair is fantastic.
Yeah, long hair. Disney can do long hair, fine. They can't do short.
Rapunzel.
Flynn. Yeah, Rapunzel's hair is just like not even a pixie. It's like a little bit longer than a pixie.
Okay, so there's a whole set of rules here that you're applying that I don't know of, Josh. I can't argue this with you.
Here's
if
the
you
thing.
have 20,000 rules.
Get off Disney's bandwagon, and you.
Hey, I'm all on this DreamWorks hair bandwagon. You made a very strong
it's like Cinderella.
statement.
So like Cinderella and Golden Earring and.
What?
Those are hair bands.
The hair bands?
Those are hair
Oh,
bands.
well, you said Cinderella. We're talking about Disney. It's kind of a hard leap to make.
No, yeah, okay,
I know what you're talking about. But
speaking of bands, did you know that Baby
animation-wise-
Metal is opening for Red Hot Chili Peppers tonight in the UK for their tour?
I don't know who that is. I know the
You know
Peppers.
the Red Hot Chili
of
Peppers?
course.
You know
Yes.
Baby Metal. I've made
No,
you listen to them while Danny and Trey and
What?
when we had one of those nights.
I don't remember. They've left my brain already.
They're the ant. Screw it. Done. I don't like talking with you. You don't remember anything. You don't remember anything.
remember-
I love Gavin.
Sure I do. Padma inverted. Changed my life.
That's one thing.
Gravity Falls.
That's two things.
Well, we could go on and on. But my favorite scene in this movie is it kind of doesn't really change much about the movie, but I love the scene where we get to see the Easter Bunny's lair or whatever it is. His
you kept
headquarters.
talking about that.
I just found the design of that area so interesting. It's basically this weird rock place that's covered in green moss and has a network of tunnels.
It's very like
out of
South
which
American.
Armies of, blank canvas eggs march on their little weird egg legs out in droves into the main area where they're painted by the foliage, by flowers and vines and things like that, and
in
give
a
them
cool
their colors.
sparkle river.
And then they kind of go out the exit tunnels, which transport them around the world to be hidden for children. And just the idea of that is just so off the wall and out of left field and wonderfully executed. I don't know. It just tickles me every time I see it. I think it's a really cool concept and a neat idea of, something that we've all heard a million versions of Easter eggs and the Easter Bunny and blah, blah, blah. But this seemed like something completely new, and I just like the way they did it. So that's my favorite scene. I just like the way it looks. I like the idea behind it, and yeah. It's pretty sweet.
Is there any good music in this?
I think the music is pretty good.
You have like during like the fight scenes, which the fight scenes are fantastic.
Oh, yeah. We haven't talked about the action. There's some really good action in this. Specifically when Jack and Pitch Black are squaring off.
You mean Cumberbatch?
Cumberbatch, yes. When Pitch Cumberbatch and Jack Frost are squaring off. Kirk Frost are squaring off. They create magic, man. It's pretty sweet.
We can just call him Kirk and Con.
Yes, we can actually. Kirk and Con. When Kirk and Con face off, it's pretty awesome. I like the fact that they gave Jack that really neat looking crook
his
stick.
cool stick.
It's like a staff,
and
magical staff.
I love how they brought it back. It's like this stick has significance. This was the stick that saved your sister from drowning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, and
they did a good job
he grips
with that.
onto it. Like, there's the one time that he loses the stick, like when he's falling the first time, and he's like scrambling for it, and then he grabs it and he like holds it close to his chest. So it's like he doesn't know, because he doesn't have his memories at that time. He doesn't know that stick has significance. but subconsciously he knows that stick has some significance to him.
Yeah, I was going to say on the flip side, he definitely knows it has significance because it gives him some sort of power.
Yeah, and he just
he also has never, according to his memory, been without it.
Yeah.
He only knows being with that stick, and since he doesn't have anybody else, it's really cool the way that they play that up. I mean, they created this whole new myth of Jack Frost, and I think they did a great job with it. And that's what I think of as Jack Frost now. I don't think of whatever image I had of Jack Frost.
You don't think of Michael Keaton?
Not even a little bit.
As a snowman playing.
Not even a little bit. I love Michael Keaton, but no, this is Jack Frost. This is my Jack Frost. So, you want to rate it? I remembered this time.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it 5 Dipper Pines.
Wow.
I thought it was fantastic.
Hesitation. Nice.
I have to go and get those books because I want to read the books because I want to read. Are they young adult books?
Yeah, they're young adult
Okay,
readers.
Good.
They're I would probably guess they're in that like 90 to 120 page range, maybe a little more.
So a little bit.
They have cool illustrations of the Guardian. Like each one has one of the Guardians on the front, and they look similar to the design work in the movie here. I mean, book covers change all the time.
Yeah.
When I worked there many years ago at Barnes &
They
Noble,
look like
they looked like that. They looked really neat, and I was interested in reading them myself.
Because if I'm thinking they're anything like the Percy Jackson books, like that type of, like age group.
They are. They're same exact age
Then yeah,
group.
I should love it.
Yeah, absolutely. They're
Which
like
Percy
in the
Jackson
same
totally
as
would've
like
made
Fablehaven and
Like
Percy
Jackson would have made a way better animated movie, a series of animated movies than.
Oh, they tried to make it live action, huh? Or they
awful.
did make it
They
live
did
action.
make it live action.
I had no interest in seeing
Only
that.
good part, Nathan Fillion was in the second one. He played Hermes.
Love the Fillion.
Yeah.
He's so
And
cool.
Sean Bean was Zeus.
Serious?
Yeah. You're like, Boromir and Eddard Stark, are you going to die in this one?
Nice. I'm having a hard time rating this one. I really, really like it. But we're about to rank our top 5 DreamWorks movies.
That has nothing to do with it.
I know, but it doesn't make my top 5.
Doesn't matter.
I'm trying to...
See, here's the thing. You're judging the movie as the movie itself.
Yeah.
Like, you can say, I don't know, we'll say, we'll say Rise of the Guardians. It has a 5 for me because I really like this movie.
Yeah.
Is it one of my top 5 animated movies of all time? No, not even close. But as the movie itself, I think it's great. And it's a 5 like that.
It's not a question of whether I think it's great. It's a question of how great I think it is. I'll tell you this. I'm wavering between a 4 and a 4.5.
Oh my gosh, stop doing your halves.
No, I do halves.
It's stupid because I don't.
No, it's not stupid. It's what makes this podcast delightful is that we have our differences.
But the ranking scale's so different.
No, you just don't like splitting hairs. I'm going to give it a 4.
0.5.
0.5.
There you go.
I do love this movie. I enjoy it every time I watch it. And visually, I just think it's amazing. So good. Very good.
All right, ready to move into top 5?
Dude, I'm itching to do it.
Top 5.
And now for another top 5.
Okay, it's time for the top 5. And today, as we've mentioned already a couple times actually, we're going to be ranking our top 5 DreamWorks animated feature films. So I believe it's your week to go first.
Thought I went first last time.
What did we do last time? I'm trying to remember.
Last week was, handy notebook, was top families.
Top families.
I did go first because I ended with the Pines. No way, I ended with the Pines family.
Yeah, I went first, so you go first this time.
Okay. Sure, why not?
Take it away, Josh Kane.
All right. My number 5. A movie that I did not know was DreamWorks. I assumed that it just happened. Is going to be Over the Hedge.
Nice.
Love Over the Hedge.
It's a good one.
William Shatner. Bruce Willis as a cool fox.
Yeah.
Foxes, man. Foxes are the best.
Foxes are cool.
Like, if we think about all the cool people that have played foxes, Jason Bateman was a fox.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis was a fox.
Yeah.
You know who else was a fox?
George
Clooney was a fox.
Jason
Batman
Schwartzman
was a fox. What was Jason Schwartzman?
He was the Sun Fox in Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I barely remember the Sun.
Oh my gosh. And then the guy that played Robin Hood, Disney's Robin Hood. I can never remember that actor's name. He's a British actor. He's great.
The fox from Little Prince.
Yeah.
He was a cute fox.
An adorable little fox.
But yeah, I went Over the Hedge.
Nice.
Just because, again, mainly because of Bill Shatner.
Yeah.
Like when he plays Possum, like towards the end, he's like, Rosebud. This is great. I was like, nice.
Sweet. You know, before I go, I thought this was going to be tough.
It looked a lot harder, but then I actually looked at those.
Yeah, when we first mentioned it, I was like, well, we should probably rank DreamWorks films, but there really hasn't been that many, and that's totally not true. They started animating their first feature came out in 1998, so less than 20 years ago, and they've already put out 33 feature films. That's ridiculous output.
And to Josh, only 6 of them worth mentioning.
Is that all you've seen?
No, I've seen a lot.
Oh, really?
But,
all right.
Like, all the ones that have, no spoilers for my top 5, but all the ones that have, like, multiple spin-offs, I've seen the first one, had no desire to see any of the other ones.
Wow, that's shocking to me. Anyway,
except one.
Speaking of, my first pick here,
Cars.
for number 5, shut your face, you know that's Pixar. My first pick is How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
The second one is my pick for number 5. It is fantastic in every way. You get to see... Really, I felt like the first movie was all introduction and transition and build up for the second movie.
Well, yeah, you knew that they were like the moment the first movie ended, you're like, okay, when's the second movie coming out?
And it's so fantastic.
And then they did
can't wait for the third
one or whatever.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of that.
There's a Cartoon Network, so you would.
Yeah. But the third one, I'm very excited for. So, yeah, the second one is excellent.
Is it on Netflix?
It might be. I feel like I've seen it.
I need to rewatch the first one,
but
I think.
own it, so I don't think you need to stream it.
I might borrow this from you.
Yeah.
So, How to Train Your Dragon.
Yep, from 2015.
Okay.
Not that long ago.
I didn't write any of these dates down. My number 4, I went with Disney's...
Shut up,
DreamWorks. Road to El Dorado.
Nice.
Which almost could have been a Disney film.
It has a very Disney feel to it.
Well, I mean, Disney did steal, half the characters for that movie.
And put them in what?
Dude, Flynn?
Really? You see a similarity with Flynn?
Yeah, like,
kind
Flynn
of,
is basically, oh god, what are their names?
Miguel and
Tulio. I was thinking Dante, and I was like, no way, that doesn't seem right. Yeah, like, he basically looks like Miguel and Tulio combined.
I don't agree with that assessment, but keep going.
No, I'm done.
Oh, that's it? You're done? Because I disagreed with you?
Yeah, you disagreed with me.
You're such a delicate little petal.
I went to The Road to El Dorado.
It's a fantastic pick, man.
It's a very good movie.
What about that soundtrack? Elton John! He does good work.
And we're going to be talking about Elton John again next week.
And maybe later on this list. Anyway, my number 4 is from the year 2000. The Road to El Dorado. I think Road to El Dorado is an amazing movie. I'm so disappointed that all of the animation world went towards CG in the middle 2000s and has left 2D behind, at least domestically, because what the DreamWorks studio started off with, that run of 2D movies that they did, was fantastic. And Road to El Dorado is one of the best animated movies of this century.
Didn't they start with a 3D movie? Wasn't Ants like 3D?
Technically, that was their second one to go into production, but it came out before Prince of Egypt.
Prince of Egypt, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was, but they still had a full 2D studio. They were killing it too. I
miss 2D.
I do too. I love it so much, and I love CG too. It took me a long time to come around to it, but I do love it for it's what it is.
Which is weird because
but 2D is my jam.
pretty much the only thing that you can find 2D on anymore is cartoons and
or
stuff and TV,
foreign films.
and you don't ever watch those.
Well, no, I watch a lot of foreign animation though.
Well, I mean, yeah,
feature films.
But I mean more like the series wise.
Yeah,
like the Gravity Fallses and like the Adventure Time and stuff like that.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Now, I visually I couldn't watch a show like Adventure Time. It's not gonna keep me visually at all.
No, it's so weird, but the complex story in that show is just like, what? You're like, you watch it and you're like, wow, there's all this stuff, and we only get like brief snippets of the overarching story, but and like the history of the land of Ooo. But then it's just like, oh well, you'll get like one episode, and then you'll have the rest of the season. Doesn't even mention anything. Yeah, it's weird.
Mysterious.
Yeah.
Ruddy mysterious.
Ruddy, sure. My number 3, I'm gonna go with DreamWorks'. DreamWorks.
The DreamWorks film.
The DreamWorks animated film, The Prince of Egypt.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's not higher, but that's a great pick.
Well, the other two have special significance.
Special significance. Okay. Yeah. That means romance, kids. Keep going.
Maybe. I mean, we talked about it. I mean, we did.
Yeah, we did an episode of it.
What did I think I gave it a 4. You give it a solid 4 or a 5?
I thought we both gave it 5s.
Oh yeah, that may have been the only one that we both gave. Well, Padma also got a 5.
Yeah, that upgraded for me later. That was an early episode for us. That was in the first couple, right?
Yeah, that may have been like 3.
Yeah.
It was really early on.
I love that movie. Good pick, dude.
But yeah, I like that movie.
Good pick.
Yeah, like I said, we've talked about it before, so.
Yeah.
If you want to hear my thoughts on it, go listen to the episode.
Yeah, please go download that episode, like it, give us a comment, rate it.
Yeah, give us a comment.
All right, my number 3 from 2008, none other than Kung Fu Panda. I absolutely love that franchise. I think it's one of the greatest fighting teams of characters. I love that they gave all of those classic martial arts styles, which are named after animals, that gave them personification as those animals. And I love that the main character is really just like a super fan, and he just delights in everything Kung Fu and these Kung Fu heroes, and he gets to kind of live out his dream of being alongside them and living the life with them. I don't know. I just think it's classic, when you wish upon a star kind of stuff. It's just magical to me. And what DreamWorks has done with that franchise, both on an animation level and on a story level and on a character design level, just phenomenal. They're such great movies. I know you don't really care about them, but man.
Well, Jack Black's only good role was when he was in Tropic Thunder.
See, it's another way that you and my wife are very similar. You guys both really don't care for the Jack Black.
No. And everyone goes like, oh, but School of Rock was so... Watch it again. School of Rock is not that good.
I've watched that movie probably 15 times.
And
I love
is it still good?
It absolutely is.
No, it's not.
But I like Jack Black, so he's not for everybody. I get it. I love him. The crazy thing is, I can't stand Dustin Hoffman. But this is a series of Dustin Hoffman movies that I love.
Who's Dustin Hoffman?
He's Shifu. He's the master or whatever.
Oh, the
little
rat
mole character. I don't know what he is. He's some sort of Japanese animal that's not familiar to us here in the West.
It would have been cooler if he was a pangolin.
A what?
Never mind. You don't know what a pangolin is.
Pangolins
are cool. They're like it's like a aardvark and an armadillo and an anteater all rolled into one cute little thing.
Are they native to China?
I think they're African.
Okay.
But yeah, pangolins.
Nice. I like it.
Sounds like pinglings, but it's penguin.
All right, dude.
My number 2, going with what you just said. No, it has nothing to do with what you just said. I went with. I was really hesitant to put this on the list, but I went ahead and put it on there just because I liked it so much. I went with Rise of the Guardians as my number 2.
Nice.
Just because it's such a it's A good movie.
It's fantastic.
And if you want to hear my thoughts on it, rewind
this episode. What did you do for the last half hour?
Yeah, it's like what did you just like skip? Like, I don't care. I want to go to the top 5.
Forget this crap.
But yeah, I was hesitant to put it on just because it was so new, like for me seeing it. So I've probably got the blinders on. But I mean, I did watch it 2 times.
You were able to sleep on it, and you were able to watch it a second time, and you were still coming away with it super high.
Yeah,
so...
and it would have made my number 1, but I didn't feel, because this was so early, so quick. I wanted to give it to some time. So maybe, in 6 months if we do our favorite DreamWorks, it may be number 1. But I didn't feel like this could be my number 1 right now, just because I felt like it would just be too much,
Right.
I've got like blinders on for it, so I was like, well, no. Number 2. It's a good number 2.
Nice. All right. Well, my number 2 is a movie that they did in partnership with one of my all-time favorite animation studios, Aardman. And it's none other than The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Every episode you somehow bring up The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
It's phenomenal.
It doesn't matter what we're talking about. We've been talking about Disney dogs. And you're like, oh, you know what's great about Disney dogs? Grommet.
Well, I have a love affair with Aardman and the things that they do. So... it makes sense. I mean, we mentioned Hercules in every single episode, and this is it right here, me mentioning Hercules. And that's fine, man.
I already mentioned Hercules because we talked about Hades.
Oh, you did? Nice. We always slip that one in. But
and we haven't done it.
I know. We should. We definitely should. But I don't know. I love the feel, the aesthetic, just everything about their kind of traditional approach to stop motion animation, and I think Curse of the Were-Rabbit was a phenomenal feature film. It beat out Corpse Bride for best animated movie that year, and I think it totally deserved it. And it's so good, man. It's one of the most watchable animated movies I've ever seen. I could put it on at any time.
Well, are we talking Hercules or Were-Rabbit?
Either. That statement applies to either. Yeah.
See, I thought we were still talking about Hercules.
It doesn't have a killer soundtrack like Hercules
I was about to agree, but then I was like, wait, is he talking about Were-Rabbit?
No, Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Dude, do you have an honorable mention?
My one honorable mention is Chicken Run.
Oh, man. Nice.
The Chicken Run's, it's the Great Escape with chickens.
Yeah, no.
That's all it is. Except,
and another partnership with Aardman.
Yeah, and we don't have, a bunch of the chickens getting taken out in the ditch and, shot by the Nazis.
Don't we have another Aussie in that movie? Isn't Mel Gibson?
Mel Gibson is in that movie. Nice. He's the main chicken.
So we got a theme going here.
Well, they couldn't get, Steve McQueen to be the American.
That would have been funny.
So they're like, yeah, I can. Yeah, just listen to the Eddie Izzard skit about The Great Escape. Then that's all you need to know about The Great Escape.
Yep.
Agreed. But yeah, Chicken Run, my honorable mention. So my number 1, I'm going to go with the Dreamworks film.
Oh, you went Dreamworks.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Nice.
The Dreamworks film, How to Train Your Dragon.
Nice.
The first one, where we've got Hiccup and I almost said Ingrid. That's not it. Astrid. And the others, the twins.
Yeah, the goofy other kids.
Ones. Like, And let's see, who else is in that movie? We've got Gerard Butler's in that movie.
Yep.
David Tennant is in that movie.
Yep.
And don't tell me his name. Craig Ferguson is in that movie.
Yeah, Ferguson's in it. He's good. I love Jay. Is it Baruchel? I love his performance as Hiccup.
He's the same character in every movie.
He's fantastic. Yeah, but this is the perfect role for him. It is so good. I love what he does. I loved the village and all the different species of dragons.
It's all those cool bluffs. That's really nifty.
Yeah, I agree.
And they're all Vikings.
I love that whole world. And, like I said, I picked the second one as my number 5, but
and Toothless is cool looking.
Toothless is really cool. I don't know. I love that movie too, but for me the second one is superior just because it's like, okay, now we can get going. It's like the first one, it was all build up. There's some great story in there and some great climax, great action, great character building. But then the second one, it's like, okay, let's get down to business and let's move on now that we've solved this main problem.
Yeah.
And I just like it a little bit better. So excited for the third one. All right, my honorable mentions. I have a few. I really do like what DreamWorks does. So, Sinbad. Did you ever see that one?
I don't remember.
That was
Sinbad.
the 2D one that followed. I think Spirit followed Road to El Dorado and then Sinbad. It's really good.
But Sinbad lost a lot of money for them.
It did. It didn't make any money.
And so did
but
Rise.
It stinks. So, it was really good. Another Aardman partnership called Flushed Away. Did you ever see that one?
It's one with rats, right?
Yes.
That's the Ratatouille one.
And another Aussie, Hugh Jackman, again.
Well, DreamWorks.
I guess
and
that's
Hugh
the same
Jackman,
Aussie. Yeah, he's great. And one that I know you don't like, B Movie. I think it's a hilarious movie. I think it's
Seinfeld.
great. I don't like Jerry Seinfeld, but I like B Movie. Monsters vs. Aliens, which I know you haven't seen,
Nope.
but it's amazing.
You know who's in that
Hugh
one?
Laurie's awesome.
You know who's in that one?
A lot of people.
Another Aussie.
Oh, who?
I don't know. I was hoping you would pull somebody out.
I don't think there's an Aussie in that one. There might be, though. How to Train Your Dragon's on my list. Megamind.
How to Train Your
Will
Dragon was an
Ferrell.
honorable?
Yeah,
Oh.
because I like 2 better, and
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and all the others were, other things that I like even better. Megamind, Will Ferrell, amazing. Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3 are both my honorable mentions because I love that franchise. And tonight's movie, Rise of the Guardians. They've done a lot of great work. Of course, they also did Ants.
Ants isn't bad, dude.
And Madagascar and sequels.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Not really my bag. And they did the Shrek franchise. Also not really my bag. I don't know.
Another Aussie in that, I'm sure.
They aren't afraid to go to that side of things where it's kind of a little more crude or a little less like pretty and magical. I don't know how to explain it other than I'm not interested in it. But then they have this whole other side that is just amazing.
Yeah.
So I really do love DreamWorks.
You have your money makers. And, like, if the first one goes, you're like, well, the kids like the fart humor and stuff like that. I guess we got to continue the fart humor to make more money.
Yeah. It seems like DreamWorks has, if you compare it to Disney, Disney seems to have a set of rules. It's like it has to be somewhat within this scope of things, whether we're talking about content or visual or whatever. Whereas other studios seem to not have as many restrictions on things like that. So they kind of go a little bit more all over the map with, I don't know, like ratings and...
Well, that's my one problem with Disney, too. It's like they always play it so safe.
Yeah,
They never
do.
push that envelope. Which, I mean, that's fine. I mean, they want to do the whole... we want to stick to what made us a lot of money before, and this way we don't offend anybody, because we don't want to offend anybody, because everybody remembers the whole thing with all the moms boycotting Disney in the 90s.
Yeah,
that was a fun time.
It's dumb.
I couldn't watch ABC for a while because my mom was on that for a little bit, and they're like, nah, forget it, it doesn't matter, it's stupid. Because they're just like, yeah, whatever, you can go watch Disney movies. It didn't last very long. But yeah, that's Disney never pushes the envelope, which is my problem with what they're doing with Star Wars. They're not pushing any envelopes. It's what they're doing with all their new stuff. They're really not pushing any envelopes. Like,
I don't necessarily want them to push envelopes. I want them to...
But it kind of makes it more entertaining. Like,
it can, but then it could also be...
Yeah,
ants.
exactly. And they don't want to... Which, again, it makes sense why they don't do it.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to have a flop on their hands.
Right.
Which is understandable, but I like the stuff that like what DreamWorks does. I like the stuff that like Laika does, where they push the envelope.
Yeah.
Especially Laika.
Well,
Laika just doesn't care right now, and I'm just like, that's perfect. That's why all their stuff is always great.
And that's the thing; they're trying to carve out their own piece of that market, and Disney has that center lane. They got that center lane locked down.
They're fine.
You know, if DreamWorks wants to get in the passing lane and go real fast, turbo, they can. And if Laika, wants to take the scenic route...
Laika's still trying to merge on.
They're taking the scenic route. They're doing their own thing, and I freaking love them for it.
Yeah, they've
amazing.
got LGBT characters on there.
Yeah.
They have more death than any Disney movie does.
They're phenomenal.
I like how they kill the parents in the first one. Like at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Like in Kubo. Kill the parents.
Uh-huh.
And then they bring them back. And then they're like, oh, we're going to kill them again. It's like, jeez.
Yeah.
That's like, hey,
It's
Disney, you kill your characters once. We kill us twice.
Well, and Disney never shows it.
Yeah.
Really.
This one they showed.
They indicate it.
We're going to show them getting killed twice.
Yeah, that's true. Well, my number one pick. You ready? You have a guess?
No.
I'm going all the way back to their first year of production. For me, Prince of Egypt is still the greatest thing that they ever put out, and I don't think anything can top it from DreamWorks. It is the best.
Wasn't our Prince of Egypt's the same?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
What?
I'm confused.
What?
Didn't you agree that Prince of Egypt was like number 4?
No, that was number 4 was Road to El Dorado.
Oh, that was our...
Yeah,
okay, never mind.
Threw me off there. I was like, what are you talking about, dude? No, number 1, Prince of Egypt. Totes amazeballs, as the kids say these days.
No one says that.
I know.
You're old.
That's old already. Anyway.
It's totally radical.
It's a perfect movie. I can find very, very little wrong with it. It's even a stretch to find those small things. Great movie. And it didn't it make your list?
Yeah, it's number 3.
Oh, it was number 3, right next to Road to
Oh,
El Dorado.
that's what I think it was. Yeah. Like I put it at number 3, and you're like, why number 3?
I thought it would be your top one. I really did. I'm surprised by How to Train Your Dragon.
I liked How to Train Your Dragon.
I'm pleasantly pleased that you put it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
I think
it
has way more humor.
I
like funny stuff.
We need Laika to put out one more movie, and then we can do a top 5 Laika.
Well, see, here's the thing with Laika. We have to wait 5 more years before we get another Laika movie.
I think it'll be faster than that. I don't think it'll be
Maybe
another
2
5
years.
Yeah.
Did Kubo make money?
I think so. I haven't looked, really, but I can't imagine it didn't. It was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
We need to get a tour of Laika.
Yeah. We should.
Laika. Hook us up.
Give us a tour. Yeah, if they do one more, we do it. That's our next top 5. As soon as their 5th one comes out, we do top 5 Laika.
So episode 120, we'll probably do our top 5 Laikas.
We're pretty confident we're going to be around that long. I think we will.
No, remember, 2017 we start skipping 10 episodes.
Oh, so like the next episode would be episode 30?
Yeah. So we do episode...
To fake everybody out?
33, then 43, then 53.
And why would we do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Because it looks cool.
No, let's not do that. It would look cooler if we did like episode 1.0, episode 1.1.
We're not doing any decimal points. No.
You don't like my decimal points.
No.
Okay.
No decimals.
All right, fine.
Okay. Well, we need to go watch something special that we're doing.
Some cartoony stuff. Yeah, I'm excited, man.
Yeah. I want some coffee.
You should get some coffee then.
Yeah. Actually, I want a green tea frappuccino.
It's candy in a cup, man.
Yeah, bro.
So just...
What do you think coffee is?
No, coffee is... This is coffee. There's no other sweetener or creamer or...
So why do you drink the coffee? What does the coffee help you do?
It helps me enjoy life.
Does it have caffeine in it to help you stay awake?
It does have caffeine in it.
Well, what do you think the frappuccino has?
It has sugar in it.
Yeah, which helps you stay awake.
Okay.
One clogs
but one is candy and one's not. That's what I'm saying.
One will clog your arteries and give you diabetes, and the other one will make you, have to use the restroom because it's coffee.
Yes. And on that diuretic note, what a wonderful episode this has been.
Gavin, do you want to tell everybody where they can find us?
Me? Well, right now
us.
I'm a little chilly here in Rapunzel's tower.
It's like 70 degrees.
That doesn't change the fact that I'm a little chilly, Josh.
And it's also but it's 30 degrees outside.
I'm a slight fellow. So I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at Gavin Audison Art. And Rapunzel, where can they find you?
You can find me at mandymore.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh L. Kane. Gavin, where can they find the podcast?
They can find it at Animation Station Podcast on Instagram, at Animate Podcast on Twitter, You can find our website at www.animationstationpodcast.com. And there's a Tumblr thing I've heard of.
Yeah, we tumble.
Blobbity blue. But you can download our episodes on iTunes and Stitcher. So go do that and subscribe and rate us 5 stars. And
if you
am
want.
I missing something?
Yeah, and leave us a comment. I mean, you can rate us. We would appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
We did do a giveaway that didn't really talk about too much.
Oh yeah. So guys, we always want you guys to pay attention, to interact with us, to be our friends. So this past week we did a little post that was basically just a picture of a promotional pin that we got when we went to see Moana, and indicating that we might have an extra. So we ended up posting that, and we decided to just give it away to one random person who sent us a comment on that post. And we did, and congratulations to Carolina. She won it from our Instagram post. So congrats.
Yeah, it's like Caroline Nagy, but yeah, I just go with Carolina.
E-G or
It's E-E-G-E.
Yeah, I don't know how to say that, but people's usernames are kind of tricky sometimes.
Yeah.
But anyway, congrats, and everybody out there, we're always giving stuff away, so make sure you comment and like and just interact with us, and you never know. We've done a few random giveaways that were just that simple.
Just
comment. Send a comment, and you might be the lucky winner. So I guess that's about it for this episode.
You
Number 20 in the books.
Yeah, you can listen to some of our other podcasts on the network.
Yeah.
Like Getting Into Comics, which is like an
anthology now, yeah. Of past episodes.
Yeah, and our good friends Liam and Brittany over at Cloud City Cast.
Yep.
Always pumping out stuff whenever they feel like it now.
No, they're pretty consistent. It's just a busy time of year.
Yeah.
Come on, Josh. Be nice. Play nice.
Hey, I'm just saying.
They're our pals.
I know they are. They're great people.
Yeah. They gave us 2 episodes this week, and they gave us 2 episodes last week, and you're spoiled that you need 3 every week, man. Be grateful.
Yeah. Hey. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just agreeing right now.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up so we can go watch some other cartoons.
Yay!
Thank you for listening to the Animation Station Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Animation Station Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Animate Podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes. And join the conversation at SecretSuperheroClub.com, where you can connect with our podcast friends, Cloud City Cast, Getting Into Comics, and Shaun of the Gathering.